September 13, 1996, the day Tupac was killed. Tupac was born on June 16, 1971 in East Harlem, Manhattan District in New York. His parents had chosen the name Lisan Parish Crooks, but when he turned 1 year old, they changed it to what would be his definitive name, in reference to the Inca revolutionary leader, thus becoming the composite name of Tupac Amaru Shakur. He was a solid rapper with a smooth and rhythmic flow. In his voice, he demonstrated extensive street experience, showing more age than he actually had. His lyrics brought a lot of gangster culture, but also a practically original social commitment. His career was based on activism, solidarity, and class consciousness.
I got to be involved, I got to excel at it, and I believe that I'm a natural-born leader.
This was clear until the day he was in Nevada. As they always say, what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. And this happened with Tupac's life. But first, we would have to tell about the first attack on the rapper. On November 29, 1994, Shakur was recording a feature with Ron G in New York. His work was interrupted by the relentless calls from music representative James "Jimmy" Henchman Rosemond, who allegedly offered him $7,000 to travel to the Quad Studios in Times Square that same night. Theoretically, the rush was because they needed another feature, this time with Little Sean. Shakur didn't trust, but the need for money to offset the legal costs he was facing at that time made him accept the job. Upon arriving at the studio with the rapper Stretch and other individuals, 3 men forcefully entered and carried out an armed robbery. Shakur resisted, resulting in him receiving several gunshot wounds. The thieves escaped after finishing their job. After the incident, Tupac speculated that the main motive of the attack was to shoot him and end his life. Sometime later, James Rosemond, nicknamed Jimmy Henchman, was the closest suspect in the New York shooting.
Everybody knows who shot me. The police know who shot me. What comes around goes around.
In his song Against All Odds, Shakur blamed Rosemond. In 2008, journalist Jack Phillips wrote that Rosemond orchestrated the attack. In June 2011, Dexter Isaacs would declare that James Rosemond had hired him to shoot Tupac at Quad Studio. After surviving various confrontations with other rappers, with the law, and also with the street, Tupac arrived at what would become the eve of his death. On the night of September 7, 1996, Tupac Amaru Shakur was in Las Vegas. He had attended with Suge Knight the boxing match at the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Grand where Mike Tyson would be crowned champion against Bruce Sheldon. Later, someone from his group had seen Orlando Baby Lane Anderson in the lobby. This member of the Southside Compton Crips had tried to snatch the Dead Road Records medallion from his neck at a shopping center. Shakur, Suge Knight, and the Blood Gang beat up Baby Lane Anderson in the lobby of a Las Vegas casino. The hotel's surveillance camera footage shows the resulting assault on Anderson. After the beating, Shakur would return to his hotel room and then head to the Dead Road nightclub with Suge Knight in a black BMW 750 sedan, being part of a group of cars that were also heading to that place. Around 11 o'clock at night, while driving on Las Vegas Boulevard, they were stopped by police as the vehicle they were driving did not have license plates and the volume of the music was extremely high. They were released a few minutes later when Sue Schneid showed them the license plates that were stored in the trunk of the BMW. Those 15 minutes of delay separated them from the group of cars, and later, while they were respecting the red light of a traffic signal, a latest model white Cadillac stopped next to them, precisely on the passenger side of such Knight's vehicle. The occupants of the vehicle moved inside the car and seconds later fired at the side of the BMW. That's when Tupac was hit by the bullets. One in the arm, one in the thigh, and two in the chest. The most critical part was that one of the bullets pierced his right lung. Some fragments hit Nike in the head, causing only minor injuries. Frank Alexander, Shakur's bodyguard, who was not in the vehicle as he usually was, had been assigned that day to drive the rapper's girlfriend's car, Kid Ida Jones. Shakur was sedated and put on life support to be urgently taken to the Southern Nevada University Medical Center. The emergency medical team at the medical facility decided to put him into an induced coma to prevent involuntary reactions that could threaten his fragile condition. According to official sources, at 4:03 in the afternoon on Friday, September 13, 1996, Tupac Amaru Shakur died from internal bleeding in the intensive care unit at the age of 25. The official causes on the death certificate were respiratory failure and cardiopulmonary arrest associated with multiple gunshot wounds. The next day, Shakur's body was cremated. The members of Outlaws, keeping in mind a line from his song Black Jesus, "Believe me, my last wish is for my friends to smoke my ashes," and not knowing very well if there was literalness in Tupac's lyrics, they chose to interpret the musical request and smoke some of the body's ashes after mixing them with marijuana. Some years ago, with no definitive evidence of Tupac's murder, this crime was linked to gang fights in Los Angeles, or with some score settling related to death row. Rappers Biggie and Anderson were also under scrutiny. This latter would precisely be the main suspect of the attack due to what had happened earlier in the studio. Obviously, both denied any involvement in the incident. The rapper from the Bad Boy Records label was interviewed at the time, and he downplayed the beef against Tupac, stating, "Even with all this drama, I would never wish death on anyone." In addition to this, Notorious B.I.G. accompanied these words, and the life gave him almost the same result as he was similarly murdered in March, shot at a red light in Los Angeles. Like Tupac's murder, no culprits have been found. A year later, Orlando Anderson met the same fate. To this day, there are different theories that suggest Tupac is still alive. One of the people who claim this is private investigator Jimmy Poole, who has published an image where supposedly you can see rapper Tupac Shakur today. Poole assures that the singer is in good condition living in Central America. Another strong point that asserts this theory is the documentary of rapper and filmmaker Rick Rose, who claims that a double would have been used to fake his death. After being shot to death in 1992. Supposedly upon arriving in Las Vegas the night of the fight, Tupac already knew that they were going to attack him. It was then that the plan was devised, which would involve placing a double in the vehicle while Tupac was leaving the city. Rose explains that the rapper's fate was to live with the Navajo tribe that resides in New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah, offering him a perfect hideout since Federal Bureau of Investigation agents do not have permission to enter their lands.
Like you and his mother said, through our memories, through our hearts, through our
In 2014, Such Knight, the driver of the car where Tupac was supposedly killed, commented that if no one had been arrested for his friend's death, the only reason was because he was still alive. This is the statement that also indirectly points towards Central America. If he had died, they would be arresting those guys for murder. You know he's smoking a cigar on an island. On the other hand, in 2017 Such Night marked a turning point in this theory. When I left the hospital, Pac and I were laughing and joking. I don't see how someone could go from being so well to getting worse like that and then dying. Another one of the inconsistencies on which this theory that Tupac is still alive is based is because the rapper was cremated a few hours after his death. Forensic data indicated that the body weighed over 21 kilos more than Tupac did. Apart from that, it was a few centimeters taller. The person in charge of the body's cremation did his job and retired to his home. Then he disappeared. Since that day, nothing more was heard from him. The commemorative event in honor of Tupac, which was supposedly going to be public, was cancelled at the last minute, so no one other than the cremator would have seen the rapper's body after he died in the hospital. In an interview during 1994, Tupac said, "I feel like a tragic hero in a Shakespeare play," not knowing that his end would be written with his own blood. And that's the end of the video of the day Tupac was killed, a story that has many mysteries. What do you think? Is Tupac still alive, or did Tupac die that day in Las Vegas? I want you to comment below and leave your opinions. For now, we end today's video. My name is Magnus Mephisto. This is the day that goodbye.